Hello, audience, and welcome to DeepStrike Mishap. I am the Titan, and today we are doing another painting video. You may have realized that I didn't say frequently played. Well, that's because we've shifted the focus a little, so now we've got a separation between our video games and our tabletop gaming stuff. So, today, you may have noticed that there's a broadside here. Last video, I painted this broadside. What I didn't show you was the base. So, today, special little treat, we're doing a basing video. I'm going to show you exactly how I did this and how I came up with the final final look. Now, we're going to do a whole different setup to the video this time. It's going to be edited down to a good amount. This way, I can edit it, I can render it out in a timely fashion, and you all can be able to watch it at a, at your own convenience and not have to deal with a 45-minute video like the broadside was. So yeah, I'm going to give you a little rundown of what materials I used exactly on this model. So, for the most part, I'll explain the new materials to you. You will be having to use Citadel Paints this time. Hooray! But you'll be using fine Ballast from the WOODLAND Scenics and a simple paint of anything similar to the CraftSmart paint. So that'll be a little easier for you to maintain, but again, this is exactly for what I did to complete the base. To begin, this is a 60mm base. We're going to be using this as our little tester. I have, just like the broadside's base. So, here we go. And this will be the guy we use. So, to start, let me show you what other materials I have to work with. It's not much, but make sure you have an old brush with you that you can use. Alright, so to begin, this is the fine Ballast from the WOODLAND Scenics company. This can be replaced with maybe sand, but I wouldn't recommend it. This here is the CraftSmart paint, simple gray. I have Citadel base, the Ceramite White. I have another Citadel base, an Abaddon Black. And I have a couple shades here. This one is relatively important. This is Agrax Earthshade. I know it didn't show it, but still. Yeah, that's what it is. Now this one is, I like this wash, this black wash, but this you can replace with Nuln Oil. So, make sure you have an old brush, and you're going to mix the Ballast or sand with the simple CraftSmart Gray. So, why on earth the CraftSmart Gray paint? It's such a cheap paint. Why on earth would I use it? Well, here's why. Besides it being cheap, it's not worth mixing with Citadel. It's not worth mixing Citadel paints with materials, really. You can paint on material like Ballast, but not mixing whole paint with Ballast is crazy. Why not glue the Ballast to the base? Well, here's why. The glue that I have for the Ballast is actually water soluble. So, what happens is that if I was to apply a wash, there's a high chance that it would actually remove the Ballast because the glue isn't strong enough to hold, even with it dry. So, I also felt that I needed to paint the bottom of the base with a gray. So why not kill two birds with one stone and simply just mix the Ballast with the simple gray paint. This is how I did it with the broadside, and this is how I'm doing it now. Simply take your mix on your brush and glob it down to form any sort of surface you want. Now, right now, there's not much texture on the base. Once it dries, all the paint will have dried up, and what you'll have left is a sandy-like terrain area, little rocky terrain area for the purposes of the model size. But for all this mounding up you're doing, it's going to shrink because all this paint's drying. You might have to go in and apply layer upon layer of this even after being dry. And it takes, for me, it took a little longer to dry than I expected, but that's okay. Yeah, it's definitely a fun way to base these models, that's for sure. So, once it's dry, once you're satisfied with it, I'm going to head straight to the Agrax Earthshade. Using the same brush I did earlier, I'm just going to go ahead and put some on, and then let's just start filling out some color. So, one simple old brush can do it all, I tell you. But for purposes of storing your ballast and paint mix, a small container you can seal. What'll happen is the ballast or sand is going to absorb the moisture in the paint, so you end up with very dry substance at the end of the day. That's still able to be worked with water and just adding more paint, but you want that completely sealed to continue to use what I have here. And even then, it still gets dried out. So we're going to map out some color, wrap it around with some brown Agrax Earthshade. So, a lot of fun stuff happening here. When we get to the Nuln Oil, we'll try and splash it into different areas to make it just a little more unique. So now, while it's still wet, I'm going to go ahead and use the Nuln Oil. And there's no necessarily need to have it dry. You can have some fun and work with it. Now, real quick, my wash is a lot more intense than Nuln Oil. A lot more intense. So, you may have to apply 2 layers of Nuln Oil to get the effectiveness of what this is right now. But still, yeah. Alright, so this is actually perfect. This, if you wanted to leave it like this, is perfectly fine. I'm going to add a little bit of a chalky layer to it. And that's what the Citadel paint, the Ceramite White, is going to be for. Pretty much what I'm going to do is take a brush, dry it off with some of the paint, and just lightly tap on the top here, just to create a more chalky surface. This is to give it more of that earthy rock, very dry rock material. Just lightly dap it. Make sure you don't have enough. Make sure you don't have too much paint on there. Otherwise, you're just painting the rocks white at this point, which I kind of do with some while doing this. Yeah, look at that. All right, finally, the Abaddon Black. What we're gonna do? Take the sides of this base and just lightly coat over it. This is to get rid of any of the excess paint that may have spilled over, and this is to give the round area of the base just that uniform black color. All right, so audience, there you have it. One 60mm base, ready and complete to have your models glued on. Hope you enjoyed the video. And here's a little variation, of course, if you want red variation too. You know, sneak peek for possible another basing one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and give us a like and subscribe. You can still find us at Frequently Played on YouTube. We are on Patreon now. Look for us at patreon.com/DeepStrike. For now, I am the Titan. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. Happy basing. Peace.